Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. I'm literally stepping into the shoes of a hiring manager today to show you exactly, and I mean exactly, how to get your job application noticed in an incredibly crowded inbox. Applying for a job has basically moved entirely into the digital space, and while sending an email might seem like the easiest thing in the world, doing it right is actually a highly specific skill. Today, we're going to look at the anatomy of the perfect email application, drawing straight from the hard truths of the hiring world. We'll dive into the exact strategies you need to use to make sure your application doesn't just end up in the digital trash bin.
Okay, I want to start off with this quote. Can you apply for a job with superficial knowledge? Yes, but that is nothing short of foolishness. As a hiring manager, let me tell you, truer words have never been spoken. Because email is so incredibly fast and accessible, people treat it way too casually. They shoot off an application while waiting in line for coffee. But treating your career prospects with that kind of superficial, casual energy, that's absolute foolishness. The stakes in my inbox are incredibly high, and your application absolutely needs to reflect that seriousness. So here's our roadmap for building the perfect application from top to bottom today. First, surviving the crowded inbox. Second, first impressions, covering your IDs and subjects. Third, naming and formatting attachments. Fourth, crafting the email body. And finally, those final checks before sending. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, surviving the crowded inbox. Listen, before you even click open your email, you're already competing with literally hundreds of other applicants. You really have to understand the environment of a hiring manager. Our inboxes are flooded. Because sending an email is so easy, the sheer volume of applicants is just staggering. In this sea of competition, professionalism is totally non-negotiable. Any hint of carelessness, laziness, or unprofessionalism will disqualify you instantly. We simply don't have the time to decipher a sloppy application. It's kind of the easiest filtering mechanism we have. So every single element of your email must scream competence.
Moving right along to Section 2, First Impressions, focusing on IDs and subjects.
Okay, you have to see the stark contrast in the email IDs we actually receive on a daily basis. This is the very first thing that pops up on my screen. James Bond, SRK, Blue Fairy Neil and Jonah. I cannot stress this enough. Do not use these. It's almost comical, but it seriously happens all the time. If I see an application from a Blue Fairy, I'm deleting it before I even read the subject line. What we actually expect to see is a sleek, professional email address that clearly features your real first and last name.
Oh, and here's a golden rule that so many people miss. Consistency is crucial. The email address you're sending your application from must exactly match the email address you have listed at the top of your CV. If they don't match, you just create confusion. Think about it. If I want to search my inbox later for the email address I saw on your resume, and it's different from the one you sent it from, you're basically lost in the void.
Once your sender ID passes the test, my eyes shoot right over to the subject line. A precise subject line is your absolute ticket to being opened. Getting it wrong drops your chances of being read dramatically. So what's the perfect subject line? It includes the exact position name, the job title, and hey, if the job posting included a reference number, absolutely put that in too. Make it explicitly clear what this email is about. And a quick pro tip, once you've written this brilliant subject line, do not copy and paste again as the first line of your email body. It's totally redundant and just wastes valuable space.
Let's move to Section 3, naming and formatting attachments. Here's the deal. You have to make my job easier. When I get 100 resumes and they're all just named resume doc or CV_final.pdf, my hard drive turns into an absolute nightmare. I have to open each one just to remember whose it is. You need to name your files so they never ever get lost. Just follow this exact formula. Step 1, your name. Step 2, your profession. Step 3, the document type, meaning whether it's your CV or your cover letter.
You can use hyphens or underscores to separate this info neatly. So your file becomes your name -profession -CV or your name _profession _cover letter. When a hiring manager downloads this, it's instantly searchable, perfectly organized, and honestly, it shows me that you possess a high level of professional polish before I've even read a single word of your qualifications.
But wait a second. What format should those brilliantly named files actually be in? Are we talking the classic Word document or the sleek PDF?
The answer? It's almost always PDF. Look, when you set a Word document, depending on what version of Word I have, or if I try to open it on my phone on the go, your beautiful formatting might get completely scrambled. Your fonts change, your alignment gets totally destroyed. A PDF locks everything in exactly how you designed it. It protects your presentation. Now, there is one major caveat here, unless a Word file is specifically requested in the job ad. If the employer says, send a Word file, you follow their instructions to the letter. But otherwise, PDF is your best friend.
All right, moving into Section 4, crafting the email body. Think of the text in your email not as some rambling letter, but kind of like a highly structured, concise microstory. And how do you open this story? By addressing a specific person if it's at all possible. Do a little digging. Try to find the name of the hiring manager or the department head. It shows great initiative. But if you absolutely cannot find a name, please do not just say to whom it may concern. Address them by their official job title, like Dear Hiring Manager or Dear Director of Marketing.
Now for the actual core of the email. I like to call this the 3-paragraph pitch. Please do not write a novel. Keep the text brief, but incredibly attractive. Paragraph 1, that's your handshake. State exactly who you are and why you're contacting them today. Paragraph 2 is your pitch. Tell them what specific value and contribution you can bring to their organization right now. And paragraph 3 is your call to action. Finish strong by expressing a clear, confident interest in securing an interview. It's clean, it's totally logical, and it really respects the reader's time.
Once you've typed out those 3 punchy paragraphs, you've got to sign off right. We're talking about a professional signature. That's a unique, clean block of text at the very bottom of your email. It absolutely must include your full name, your phone number, and maybe a link to your professional portfolio or your LinkedIn profile. It basically acts as your digital business card and leaves a lasting, distinct impression.
Finally, Section 5, final checks before sending. Okay, we're right at the finish line. These are those nerve-wracking moments right before your finger clicks send. Read your email again, and then read it again. Check for typos, check your grammar, but most importantly, and I literally cannot stress how often this happens, whatever you do not forget to attach your files. There is no way to ruin a slick, professional image faster than sending a brilliant email and then having to send a sheepish follow-up 3 minutes later going, oops, forgot the attachment. Double check it. Actually, let me clarify one really common exception you might run into. Sometimes a job posting will explicitly ask for the cover letter to be in the email itself rather than as an attached file. In that specific scenario, you follow directions. You write your full cover letter right there in the email body, and the only file you attach is your beautifully formatted, properly named CV. Always default to what the employer specifically requests.
So we've broken the whole shebang down, from dodging the spam filter with a professional ID, to locking down your fonts with a PDF, to structuring a 3-paragraph pitch that actually respects my time. Look, the modern inbox is a battlefield, but you now have the exact blueprint to navigate it like a true professional. So the final question I'm going to leave you with is this. When you apply for your next dream job, after putting all these insider secrets to work, will your email be the one I reply to? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go update those email signatures, rename those files, and go get that interview.